Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much, or morning, depending on where you are, I suppose. Thank you so much for joining us for the Brenton Files Monsters and Myths, episode 5 here on
Thank you
the...
so much,
oh,
or
no.
morning, depending on where you are, I suppose.
For joining us. I forgot to mute my Twitch, and so now everyone heard that awful going back and forth. Anyway, hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us on the Brenton Files Monsters and Myths here on the Greyhawk channel. We're off to a good tech start. I'm crossing my fingers we don't have the same problems we've had for the last 2 weeks. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Greyhawk channel. My name is Eugenio, also known as your friendly neighborhood dungeon master, DM Jazzy Hands. I use he, him pronouns, and I am super excited to continue the exploration of the mansion of Dr. Felix Ovid. As last we left our intrepid adventurers, who will introduce themselves momentarily, Merrick, our wizard, was being chased down the stairs by a horde of creepy, crawly, disembodied hands. But before we get too deeply into that, let's go ahead and go around and introduce our players for this afternoon. Let's start with Emily.
Hi, I'm Emily. I use she, her pronouns. I play... Who do I play?
Zenda.
Zenda, thank you. I was thinking
Good.
Merrick, and I was like, that's not my character. I play Zenda, who is a rogue halfling.
Mm-hmm.
Just a little swashbuckling little minx.
Minx is a good word. I like that. I like that. All right, Ismail.
Yes, my name is Ismael Alvarez. I use he, him pronouns, and I play Zephyr Steward, a half-elf bard who also uses he, him pronouns.
That you do.
Very, very sensitive half-elf bard.
Yes, he's going through it and has been all day. We're going to find out what's going on. And last but most certainly not least for this week, Kyle.
Hi, I'm Kyle. I use he, they pronouns. I play Merrick, the conjuration wizard tiefling who uses they, them pronouns. And they are currently covered in a lot of gross things, and they're being chased by more gross things. So.
It's true. All of that is true. We are short one player today. Our good friend Alicia, who plays Lambeau, the sorceress, is currently having a lovely vacation. Happy Canada Day to all the Canucks out there in the audience, and to Alicia, who has taken the day, and we hope that she's having a great time. We will see her back next week. Lambeau will still be somewhat involved, if slightly peripherally, in today's adventures, because they're about to go through it, and we didn't want to be short an adventurer. So, all right, before we jump into the game, housekeeping for the day, I want to quickly shout out some of the awesome sponsors, of course, that are supporting us here on the Greyhawk channel. First and foremost, we, of course, want to thank all of you who've either subscribed to the Twitch channel or joined our Patreon at patreon.com/thegreyhawk channel. We so appreciate your support of all that we do here. If you haven't done this yet, go ahead and click the little heart up above to follow the channel. That's free. And if you are able and willing, of course, we would so appreciate a subscription to the channel as well. Next, we want to thank Roll20. We use their virtual tabletop system for some of our rolls and things like that. We don't use their live maps generally in this stream, though many of the other shows on the channels do. The Greyhawk channel is officially supported by Roll20. You can try out their services for free at roll20.net. We also have an official battle map sponsor that many of our show use. Heroic Maps has more than 300 maps available on DriveThruRPG, so go check those out. We're sponsored by Tabletop Loot. You can go to tabletoploot.com and use the coupon code Greyhawk to get 15% off your dice order. And our Patreon supporters get additional coupon codes for use at rueinc.com and cantripcandles.com, which are the websites for Devon Rue and for Cantrip Candles. We so appreciate their support as well. Finally, stuff about the channel itself. We've got some bars at the bottom that y'all might have noticed. We have a spring season follower goal of 400 new followers. We are well on our way. It looks like we're up to 221, slowing down a little bit from last week, but I'm sure we can do it. So if any of you have not followed the channel yet, go click that now so we can help get that number up and hit 400 by the end of the summer. What else? We've got a stream boss. As far as I can tell, anytime somebody subscribes or cheers, donates bits to the channel, that person does damage to the stream boss. If you are the person that defeats the current stream boss, you become the next stream boss. Looks like Falcon of Venom has very few hit points left, so it wouldn't take much to kick them out and take the position of stream boss during our show. So if you are so moved, do that. Speaking of bits and donations to the channel, we also have our Divine Favor bar. Once that reaches 100%, the cast here will get some sort of bonus, some sort of advantage to their game, whether it's automatic saves, automatic saving throw, success on saving throws, automatic hits on their attacks, natural 20s, or other things of the sort. So, that is everything. Who wants to do a little recap? In fact, I am going to tell you who wants to do a little recap today for this. Hey, Kyle, you want to recap us on what happened last week?
God damn it, like I remember.
I literally just said, oh, thank God.
I could see it in your face. Oh, don't worry, Ems. You'll be up next week. But for this week.
Oh, let me remember. Okay. So we finished up the fight against the 3 like golem zombies, flesh golems. That's what they're called, flesh golems.
Sort of, yeah. They're not really flesh golems. Remember, I let loose that they're scarecrows.
Oh yeah, they're fleshy scarecrows.
Yeah.
So we took care of the 3 scarecrows, and then after a brief manic episode from Merrick, we made our way to and followed the footprints. Zephyr stayed behind to comfort Ren, stay with Ren for a little bit, before leaving some badgers to help comfort and dig a grave. The 3 of us went and we followed the footprints to Orvid Felix's house. Or is it Felix Orvid?
It's Ovid, but yes.
Ovid, Felix Ovid, Ovid Felix. His name is Ovid / Felix. We went to his house. Lambeau didn't think it was him. Merrick was very, very adamant that it was him. And we went and found his little shack in the back. And we investigated. There was like a glyph there that was going to blow up. So we went and found. We had Zephyr come after he was with the badgers and such. We blew up the glyph. Ovid woke up, was like, "Hey, who's blowing up my glyph?" We tried to be inconspicuous with some crows, and Zephyr and Lambeau were trying to play the good neighbor type, saying, "Hey, are you okay? What happened?" And he was like, "No, go away. You're fine. Leave me alone. I'm not dangerous. I promise." And then he disappeared into his basement, and we were like, "Hey, they connected. Why aren't they?" That he never showed up outside the shack, and so we went inside the shack, but it was kind of bad because Zenda couldn't see in the shack, and then Zephyr and Lambeau went to the house to try to corner him, but Zephyr and Lambeau couldn't get into the house because they're not going to break and enter. That's Zenda's job. So we kind of split the party in like the wrong way after discussing it thoroughly, and then we messed it up. And then we got down in the house together. There was more scarecrow fleshy things. Merrick tied them up with their spell. Then we went back to the house. Zenda got us into the house this time. The house had more fleshy there was one more. It was like the trophy flesh golem scarecrow. There was no Ovid anywhere to be found. We went and we took care of the ones downstairs, and we found like all the experiments that were there, and it was kind of gross. Then we were trying to like take care of the rest of the house. Zephyr was like, "I'm gonna go talk to Minnie Faye," so he left, and then Merrick went and tried to dismantle the trophy one, and then they were attacked by lots of hands, and now they're running from the hands. I think I covered everything.
In one form or another, you absolutely covered everything. I have no idea what just happened, but I really thoroughly enjoyed it. Amazing. So, yes, not to put too fine a point on it, you all are currently, Lambeau and Zenda and Merrick are in the cellar right now. The crawling claws are coming. Zephyr is gone. Also, just to be clear, you all have come to investigate the house of Felix Ovid because townspeople in Brenton have been getting strange notes requesting body parts be taken from their loved ones' corpses after they die and left outside. And finally, someone decided to stand up to the requests and came running to you all for help. This was a somewhat friend of yours, Ren Iranafa, whose mother had died in a tragic accident a few days before. And so your investigations led you here to Dr. Felix Ovid's house, where you discovered all manner of creepy things. So I do believe that we should address the crawling claws that are pouring down into the cellar now. Merrick, you are mere steps ahead of them. In fact, I think one of them is sitting on your shoulder and has been sort of having a little slap fight with you, trying to scratch you, but is unable to do it. You've been keeping them away from you. The rest are swarming down behind, and I'm going to give you all a moment to respond before we decide whether or not we need to hop into an actual initiative here. So you two, Lambeau and Zenda, what is your reaction as Merrick comes running down, followed by a tidal wave of hands?
Oh, the first thing I do, the very first thing, is I go, oh shit, and I jump onto the nearest thing that's up higher than the floor. I'm little, so if they hit the ground, I'm done.
All right,
I'm done.
I love it.
So what's near me? Can I hop up on
there's little crates and there's crates and barrels. Remember, you're in this cellar that has all of these things that are holding body parts and other things to create those scarecrow fleshy things. So you can hop up onto one of those. That's no problem. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. That's where I'm at.
Okay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Oh no. I will share that with the world in a moment. Lambeau, I think, is gonna look around and probably turn to Merrick and say something along the lines of, "What have you done?"
That sounds accurate. That's, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I didn't do anything. They just came out of nowhere and started to attack me.
It's like she's with us right now.
I hear
Okay, so they are swarming down and are mere feet from all of you, and it seems that so far no one is running away, so let's go ahead and roll some initiative. Where? Here we go. All right, Zenda, what'd you get?
a natural 20.
Yeah, +3 or +4? What's your initiative?
+7. +7.
Your initiative?
Yeah, no, is that not right?
I mean,
Initiative.
I guess it could. Oh, you're a swashbuckler, so you get to add your charisma modifier too. Yes. Holy gods, a 27.
Am I wrong?
Nope, you're completely right. Zephyr. Oh, you're not there.
Oh,
no, you're
I was
not.
gonna
Nope,
say, it's
you're
like-
not
yeah.
there. Yep. Merrick.
I got a dirty 20.
All right, dirty 20.
Oh, dirty
Lambeau's at a +2, so let's roll for her. So Lambeau gets an 8. Merrick got a dirty 20, and Zephyr is not currently a part of this funness. All right, so Zenda, you are for sure up first. You are up on this barrel. You see just this wave of dozens of these hands crawling down. What are you doing?
I'm currently debating, as Zenda would, between do I get up and close, holding a dagger and her bow in each hand, and being like, and then decides to use her bow.
Okay, great.
And for the one that is, whatever, I mean, how many are there? Many. Can I aim for one that's like closest, not the one on Merrick's shoulder, but like the one that would be the closest behind them?
Yeah,
maybe?
absolutely. So there's like maybe 1 or 2 that are out in front, and then the rest of them are just like a swarm of hands. But there's a few that are out in front, yeah.
Great. Let me try to aim to the ones that are out in front.
Great, do the thing.
Just to give them a little head start.
Absolutely. I love it. Do it. Where are we here? All right.
Plus, what should I?
Short bow, so
10.
I think it's +7 maybe?
+7. Yeah. So
All
17.
right. Yes, that absolutely hits. Skewers the thing. Go ahead and roll damage.
Run, Merrick. 20 still? No.
No, your damage for the short bow is a d6 plus your dexterity modifier. It should be right next to the short bow damage. To hit modifier on your sheet.
Mm-hmm. So D6. Oh, I rolled a 2.
Okay, plus.
4.
Yep.
7.
Plus 4. Yep. All right, so 6 damage.
Boo.
Alrighty. Next up in the order, so Zenda fires and skewers one of the hands, and it just like is stuck in the ground. The arrow is sort of pinning it to the ground, and its fingers are flailing, trying to crawl, but it can't move because there's a. All right. Next up, Merrick.
So Merrick is going to try to hop up next to Zenda and light a torch because they don't really have any spells to deal with a horde of undead.
Okay, great. I love that. Light that torch.
So I'm lighting me a torch, and I'm gonna be flailing that in front of me to help like keep them away from us.
Keep them at bay. Totally.
While she kills them.
All right. Next up are the claws. And they're essentially like 3 distinct swarms of them. One of them is going to try and swarm Merrick, since you are right there. But you've got that torch lit, so they're gonna not have the advantage that they would have otherwise had. So does a 10 hit you? I know you're a wizard, but yeah. All right, one of the swarms is going to go for Lambeau, who is still sort of on the ground, awakening from their cat nap or something. I don't exactly remember, but there it is. Ooh, an 18 is going to hit Lambeau, so that is going to do 5 slashing damage to Lambeau as they tear at her before she gets a chance to really get up.
Let's let Lambeau die while Alicia's not here, okay?
Yeah, let's maybe not do that. I think another. They're mostly chasing you, Merrick. So I think another group of them is going to go for you, but a 5 doesn't hit you either. So you're surrounded sort of at this point, and you're swinging this. Yes, all right. Lambeau's up, and I don't know. What do y'all think? She's going to cast a spell of some sort.
Fire.
Let's see. Fire? I don't know if she has any fire spells. She's got Green Flame Blade, but that would require her to, touch them with a melee attack.
Yeah.
Maybe she'll cast a magic missile. She's going to send 2 missiles into, let's see, well, she's got to cast it at first level because she's only got first level slots left. So she's going to cast it at first level. She is going to send 2 darts into the swarm that is attacking her currently, and 1 into the swarm that is attacking Merrick. So you just see these 3, and they're bright red, these 3 red darts fly out. 2 of them hit the swarm next to her for 8 damage. Math. And 1 of them is going to hit Merrick's swarm for another 3 damage. And she's going to sort of scramble backwards and try and get away from the swarm and get closer to where Zenda currently is. All right, so we're at the top of round 2. Zenda, they are coming. They are surrounding Merrick. Merrick is sort of mostly now able to keep them sort of at bay around him, but they are completely surrounding them. The others are fast on Lambeau's heels, headed in your direction.
Oh, I wish I could do magic. I just want to light the whole house on fire and kill them all. I'm not gonna do that, 'cause that would be bad. Okay, I know they're close. How close are they? Can I hit them with my rapier or no?
Not yet. They're still a
Not
little ways away for that.
Then I'm gonna have to do another shot with my.
Okay, do you want to fire for one of the swarms that's around Merrick, or the swarm that is approaching you that was attacking Lambeau a little while ago?
The ones that are attacking Lambeau.
Okay, great.
Fire.
Yep, those are the ones heading your way too.
19.
All right, that'll do for sure.
7. Great. And my D6 minus 4. Oh, a 5.
All right, so that is another 5 damage. So between Lambeau's missiles and your arrows, there's only a couple of these hands left in this swarm. They're still headed for you, but you've destroyed most of that swarm.
good.
Merrick, on the other hand, may still have some problems. Speaking of Merrick, they are up. Merrick is muted.
I hit the wrong thing. I'm
Okay,
sorry.
it's okay.
Am I able to like attack with the torch?
Sure, I love that. We'll call that an improvised weapon, so you're gonna make a strength check, essentially, because it's a melee attack.
I think I have no bonus to that.
Good thing.
That's a 10.
They have very low AC, but not quite that low. So you swing the torch around, and they all sort of scuttle back from you, but you don't manage to set any of them on fire.
Zenda, it's all you. Good job.
Lambeau's like, what about me? It's fine. It is the Claw's turn again. They're going to now approach Zenda and Lambeau, they're gonna, you're closer. Sorry, Zenda, you're closer. Lambeau sort of went behind you. So they're going to attack you this time. And they crit on you. The three of them that are left just swarm and tear with their dirty undead nails at your legs up atop this thing. And you take 6 slashing damage. Only slightly more than they did to Lambeau with their regular hit, but that's totally fine. 6 slashing damage as they just swarm onto you and continue to grab your legs. The two swarms that are near Merrick are going to try to dart in from the getting around the fire. They're going to have disadvantage, though, because you're keeping them at bay with that fire, which they are rather not inclined to get anywhere near. So, again, neither of them hits a 10 and a 7, so you're keeping them at bay, but you are surrounded and increasingly desperate. Next up is Lambeau. Lambeau really doesn't know what the hell to do. But at this point, they're close enough that is the wrong character sheet, that she is going to go ahead and, let's see here. She's going to go ahead and cast, what? Yes, she's going to cast Green Flame Blade. She's going to pull out her dagger, and the dagger erupts with green flame. And then she is going to try and, pry off some of the hands that are attacking you, Zenda. Let's see, this is at a +5. That's not so bad, actually. That is an 18, so she manages to pry them off of you. And what does this spell do? I don't remember. When you hit, and green flame leaps to the target. At 5th level, 1d8. All right, so you see she pries off the hands, and also the flame from her blade jumps onto the pried off hands, and it is. Oh, yeah, and just torches the remaining hands. So there are no more that are on you, Lambeau or Zenda, but the other two swarms are still surrounding our dear, kindly friend, Merrick.
Damn it.
So, yeah. Top of round 3, Zenda, you're back up.
Okay, so I'm good.
You're good.
Merrick, how close am I to Merrick?
You could get to the swarms that are surrounding them within a move easily.
Okay, can I get to them?
Yeah.
And take out my rapier and try to get a full arc through?
Yeah. Are you trying to get? So you're trying to get into the middle of the circle of these things with them?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
I love that. Absolutely. So you wade through dozens and dozens of hands, just shoving them aside, kicking them to the side, getting up to Merrick, and then sort of swinging your rapier around. Go ahead and make that attack.
19.
19, that absolutely hits, and since you have an ally within 5 feet of these enemies, you get your sneak attack, so that's 1d8 plus 3d6 plus 4.
Whoa, 1d8 plus 3d6 plus 4.
Got your sneak attack in because you have an ally there, so you're able to... They're distracted trying to go for Merrick, so you're able to do...
Well, I got a 12.
Well, that's because you rolled a 1 on your 6, but that's okay. That slices and dices a good chunk of them. Many of the claws are laying like spiders upside down and sort of twitching. unable to continue their onslaught. Merrick, you are up. Zenda has joined you in the circle.
I'm gonna try to attack with this here torch again.
Do the thing.
A 13.
A 13 will hit some of them. Go ahead and do, let's call it 1d6. I assume you have a 0 modifier for your strength, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so we'll call it 1d6 of fire damage then.
That's a 6.
All right. So Merrick manages to burn away another large chunk of these things, and the smell of burnt flesh mingles in the air around all of you. Lambeau sort of waves and says, "Nice job, y'all. I'm gonna stay here," and fires off some more magic missiles at the remaining swarm.
Bacon.
All of them going towards this swarm that is still surrounding you. Ooh, doing 11 damage as these bright red darts of force fly out of their hand towards you all. It is the claw's turn. They're going to attack, let's see, 1, 2, they'll attack Merrick, 3, 4, they'll attack Zenda. They're going to attack Zenda, so they come in and attempt to crawl on her again. Does a 13 hit you, Zenda? I can't imagine. No, your dex is... What's your AC? You're muted, my love. Holding. 15. All right, so they claw all over you, but you're able to scrape them away, kick them away, keep them from clawing into you anymore. So we will once again... Oh, I switched Lambeau and the claws, but that's okay. That's fine. So we're back at the top of the round. It is Zenda's turn again.
I'm gonna yell to Merrick, "Merrick, light them on fire!" And then I'm gonna swing again with my sword.
What do you think I've been doing?
Do it again. Try hard. Oh,
Try harder.
try harder. Oh, I got a 14.
A 14 will do it. And again, you've got an ally there, so you've got 1d8 plus 3d6 plus 4. As Zenda once again sort of... This time I think you're sort of picking off the ones that you can see just with your rapier, stabbing into whichever ones you can get to.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow. And you just decimate the remaining claws, managing to destroy all of them. There's maybe one left that sort of skitters away, crawls back upstairs and runs, but otherwise that is it for the swarms of claws that were surrounding you. So, that happened. Lambeau goes, "All right now, Merrick, for real, what did you do?"
I only tried to dismantle the scarecrow on the 3rd floor. That
Just
was it.
face palms, I'm sure.
But I doubt they would have been sentient enough to attack for that reason.
I'm gonna say, so you're saying it was booby trapped?
I don't know.
You didn't look.
No.
Before you started dismantling?
I just started dismantling because I thought, hey, look, scarecrow. I should destroy that because it looks like it might kill us later.
I still think you're going through something, Merrick. I'm here for you.
I'm going to go continue to dismantle that scarecrow.
Oh my god. Amazing. We're going to take this opportunity to crossfade to Zephyr, who is doing what?
So Zephyr, the first thing he did actually was to go and check on Ren and see how he was doing.
Okay, so
Wanted to
you've...
make sure that he didn't get attacked in the middle of the night after we left.
Totally, no, not at all. It doesn't seem like anyone has been that way. Ren actually managed to fall into probably a light and an unrelaxing slumber, but he is at least asleep. Kind of, when you arrive, which is nice, curled up into the cuddle puddle of giant badgers that you've left for him. Because they last an hour, right?
Yeah, they last an hour.
Alright, so they got a little time on him left at this point.
Cool.
Not much, but a little bit.
And that's totally fine. He might even just peek in the window and make sure that that's fine, and
Sure.
then head over to Minifay.
Okay, so you arrive at Minifay, and it is still a little bit before dawn's beginning, so it's definitely early in the morning. And you arrive at her alchemist herbalist shop / apartment. You don't see any lights on inside.
Zephyr is uncomfortable with the idea of waking her up, but
Mhm.
knows that it's probably what needs to happen, so he starts tapping on her door.
So you start tapping on her door. Make me a wisdom perception check, would you?
Yikes.
Yikes.
One.
Okay, well, as we all know, we're really good at perception and wisdom skills in general in this party. So you are tapping on the door and you wait for a moment, and then you sort of knock a little bit louder because nobody responds. And from directly behind you, scaring the living daylights out of you, is a voice that says, "You're here early. Can I help you?" And you spin around, and Minifae is standing behind you, carrying a basket that seems to have several long flowers sort of laid out in it.
Zafir would have fallen back on his butt,
Yes.
and probably backed up against the door.
Totally.
And then finally he kind of stands up and dusts himself off. Many apologies. You were not a scary person, but it was a scary situation.
She says, "Oh, I don't know. I can be pretty scary if I want to."
I don't believe that, but that's neither here nor there. I'm here to let you know that we have discovered something rather grim. Mr. Ovid, who owns that mansion off in the remote part of the woods, evidently was involved with some rather horrendous hobbies, and he was the one requesting the body parts. We thought it would be best to contact you, but he has fled his mansion, and we are investigating it currently. I do not know if you want to have any part of it, but my guess is that he will not return, or my hope is that he will not return anyhow. But what are your thoughts?
She sort of listens to all this and thinks for a minute, and she says, "Well, first of all, that is what you all are here for, is to investigate these things. I don't want anything to do with going into someone else's house, somebody who has hobbies to deal with body parts. But I appreciate you keeping me appraised of the situation, and perhaps maybe I might have something that could be of use to you. I will not be joining you on any of your adventures, that's your job. But if you have need of something, perhaps I have it in stock. Is there anything I can do to help you, to assist you, to give you?"
I'm not entirely sure if we need anything at this moment, but if you had any other health potions to spare, I'm sure that my friends might need them.
She says, "I don't think I have any. They're currently all simmering and will be a few hours before they are ready."
No worries, it shouldn't be an issue. The one thing I would appreciate if you could do is just to let people know. I'm not usually one to spread bad news like this, but I believe the town must know of Ovid's wrongdoings.
She says, "Oh, certainly. That I think I can manage. I will also see if perhaps I can come up with any... I have a few ideas about maybe some ways that I could help. I appreciate you bringing this information to me. Is it safe to have left the rest of your friends on their own? It always seemed to me that you were perhaps the most level-headed of the four."
Why, thank you. No one's ever called me level-headed before, but...
It is a low bar. Don't get too excited. I can't with these two's reactions. I can't.
I was like, my mouth is open. I literally just fucking drooled. And I caught it. I was like, oh shit.
But anyways, Zafir just says, right, you're probably correct in that assessment, and I should be heading back quickly. I had initially insisted that we send just our friend here. It points to Lazarus, but they asked me to come with Lazarus. So
I forgot Lazarus was with you. Lazarus just lets out a call.
But thank you for your help, and I will then be on my way back.
Yes, do. Let me know how things go with Dr. Ovid.
Yes, most certainly.
Mm-hmm.
And Zafir starts like running back.
All right.
Basically just taking a sprint.
And you see, as you head that way, you see just beginning to crest over the horizon, the sun is beginning to dawn. Some very faint pink and yellow hues cresting over the mountains around the city. The town. City is generous. As we crossfade back to our three friends in the cellar that are surrounded by charred, skewered, severed hands.
You doing a Mad Libs there now?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What's the plan, three friends?
Merrick went back upstairs to check out the.
Oh my gods above.
Zenda's following, because, look, clearly none of us can handle this on our own, so Zenda's following.
I mean, Lambo will follow you too, if that's the case.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Now, if they did try to attack me because of me dismantling that scarecrow, I wonder why. So I'm going to continue to dismantle it and see if there's something inside of it, something about it that they were protecting, or if it was purely coincidence.
Okay.
To be determined.
So you all...
Zenda,
Go ahead.
Zenda wants to find out where those hands came from.
Totally.
Like, what location they came from.
Totally.
Obviously, that came from the dumbwaiter.
So you...
Is it obvious?
So you all came... okay, we'll address that in a minute. You all head up the stairs, out of the attic, through the trapdoor, into that study that had the patchwork wolves taxidermy in the room. You head up the black marble staircase to the second and then the third floor that lets out on the landing that has the remaining undismantled bits of the flesh scarecrow up against one wall. And Zenda, let's start with you. Why don't you make me a wisdom survival check to see if you can sort of see markings from where these hands came from. Meanwhile, Merrick, if you want to continue dismantling and looking for something, go ahead and make me an intelligence investigation check. What we got?
I got a 19.
Ooh, all right. You see some tracks.
I got a 25.
All right, we'll get to that. All right. Zenda, you can see very clearly where the sort of like the claw marks, the nail marks of these things come from as they sort of left not super deep, but you're looking out, so you see them furrows in the wood of the floor. And you see that they do come from the right of the flesh scarecrow statue, which is the direction that the master suite, the master bedroom suite was, where you found the dumbwaiter. But you actually see that they don't, once you sort of round the corner, they don't actually come from the master bedroom suite doors. There is another door just to the left, a single door that looks like they came from looks like they must have slithered underneath the door and came from that room.
Hey, Merrick? Lambo?
I'm busy.
I found something. Do you want to see? Look, I can't detect what's inside this room. Would you please just, like, see if you can tell if there's anything dangerous before I open this door, please?
Lambo, help her. I'm busy.
I'll take a please any day of the week.
So will I.
What is it, Xanda?
Lambo, will you just check to see if there's anything in here before I open this door? I don't want more things to come crawling out.
Yeah, I mean, I can try. I'm not sure what you want me to do. She, like, leans up and puts her ear to the door, because we all know Lambo is really good at perception checks, so let's see what happens here. Roll 1d20. I think it's a -1, right, for her? Let's see. Lambo, perception, -1, yes. Oh, well, I roll better for Lambo than Alicia ever does. She gets 15, and she says, well, I don't hear anything back there, so either they're being real quiet or the room's empty.
Send sighs. I'm really hoping that there'd be some sort of, like, magic to that. And was
Yeah, she definitely doesn't see any magic or use any magic.
And just opens the door. I go in.
All right, so you open this door, and beyond this door is a bathroom. The bathroom contains a wooden tub that has carved claw feet, a small iron stove with a little kettle resting atop of it, and a barrel under a spigot in the eastern wall. You can see that the tub is filled almost to the brim with sort of a dark, murky water.
Okay, Merrick, I really need you now. Please. I need you to do that hand thing and put it in the water to see what's in there.
So
Please?
we'll do a little pull around to Merrick, who has finished successfully dismantling this inanimate flesh scarecrow. You didn't find anything. If you recall, last week you found that note, but other than that, you didn't see anything else inside. You got a better idea of how they were constructed, and it's all quite gross.
I don't recall the note. What was the note?
I was hoping you would recall, because I don't think I wrote down what it said. It said something about this is sort of the pinnacle of this portion of the experiment, now upwards and onwards, or something
That's
like
what I was
that.
thinking.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's exactly what I said.
Yeah.
So Merrick's now going to come back over to the bathroom while brushing off the rest of the ick that was on them. What do you need me to do?
Zenda looks at them a little grossed out by all the gunk all over their
Yeah.
body. I was wondering if you could use the mage hand to unplug whatever's keeping this water in here so it can drain, so we can see what's in it, and maybe afterwards you can take a bath because you're covered in gross things. Maybe.
Merrick just deadpans at her, rolls up their sleeve, and just shoves their hand in water.
Oh no! Oh my god!
Ew!
It's
I can't feel anything with the mage hand. I
It's
can only see it.
so gross, Merrick. It is slimy, sort of spongy, squishy. Clearly the tub is full of something beneath the surface, but the surface is so opaque and gross that you really can't see it. But it's like you really have to sort of work. You're moving things aside to try and like dig your hand down in it. The smell, as soon as Merrick starts sort of stirring it up, the smell is unbelievable that is coming up from this. And eventually you sort of reach around and you realize that there isn't actually really a proper plug. There's what feels like sort of some sort of like, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 inch long like cylinder of some sort, or something that's like stuck in the drain that you could pull out if you wanted. But you're gonna sort of have to like keep moving whatever it is that's filling this tub aside from the drain, because you realize that like they'll sort of get in the way and end up blocking it up before much water is able to drain.
I'm not going to drain it. I'm going to start pulling things out to see if I can look at it.
Do you want to pull that cylinder out first? Do you want to pull the other
No.
things out? No, just
Pull the other things out.
these are whole and parts of hands. But they're wet and they're bloated, and they sort of, some of them just sort of fall apart in globs as you pull them out of the tub. I'm so sorry, you all. I should have given a warning before I did this. This week also, there's going to be some really gross things, so if you're not into that, if it's super bad, you can let us know in the chat, and I'll sort of back off.
Okay.
But, like, it's
I
a thing
love
for this week. So, yeah, you're just pulling them out, and, like, chunks of them are sort of falling apart as you pull them out of this tub. And again, like, the smell is unbelievable.
So it appears that this was the breeding ground for the hands. Not much else is here. And they'll just drain the tub.
I wonder, does Lambeau have any sort of spell that might...
Prestidigitation?
Yeah, or like, I was thinking, maybe I think thaumaturgy creates some nice smells, but no, she does not. So she's
I
just
have
covering.
thaumaturgy.
Can't you do a...
Throwing up.
Zenda is in the... Actually, Zenda, make a... Actually, all of you, make Constitution saving throws. Good point.
I have advantage on those.
To
Concentrate on spell.
which you're not doing.
But I'm playing it off as I'm having. I rolled a 5. And I
Okay.
don't like that.
I rolled a 6, but I'm definitely going up in the corner.
Okay, so let's see. What is Lambeau's Constitution save? It's +4. So that's not too bad. Let's see how she does. Roll 1d20 +4. She crit. So Lambeau is sitting in the corner, or standing in the corner, just like very stoically, like looking at all of this, and she seems totally fine. But you both notice that like she is taking very, very shallow breaths through her mouth throughout all this whole thing. The other two of you, however, and you can sort of decide where this goes, but like, ooh, last night's dinner is coming up, y'all. It's horrible in here.
Yeah, I'm bent over that barrel.
There you go. Yeah.
That's where I'm at. That's
Oh.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So while you're doing that, Lambeau sort of pats you on the back, Zenda, and goes over to Merrick and thinks about patting them on the back and feels like she might get yelled at, so she's not going to do that. So she's just going to sort of take a sweep of the room. Actually, let's do this first. Oh, maybe she's not going to take a sweep of the room unless she has something in insight that I'm unaware of. She does not. Okay, so she is not going to take a sweep of the room. She's just really horrified by all of this.
Zenda gets her head out of the barrel. Wipes
Oh,
her
no.
mouth off. And in order to get away from everything that's happening, I'm assuming she has some sort of cloth or something, puts it over her face, and decides to do a sweep of the room. Can I do a sweep of the room?
You absolutely can. So you can make me. What are you looking for? Anything in particular?
I'm looking for. What am I looking for? Looking for any other body parts, any sort of reason that hands in particular would be what they have an overstock of.
Okay.
Like, why
I love
so
that.
many hands?
Yep.
I'm just curious as to like what this room is for and why there's so many hands.
I love it. Go ahead and make me a wisdom perception check then.
Wisdom perception. Oh, sorry. My nails don't like me too.
It's all right. So Zenda's sort of taking a sweep, trying to find. Oh, she's so distracted by the smell. She's trying to look around the room, but just can't do it. Merrick, what are you up to? She rolled a natural 1. For those of you who can't see, our roll 20.
So after like draining the tub and taking care of their problem, Merrick comes out of the bathroom like just like wiping off their arm, and just like. So I've come to the conclusion that it was not my fault, the scarecrow, that these attacked. That these attacked because it was their job to, and there was nothing correlating. So, Lambeau, I will not take the blame for that one. Thank you.
Alrighty. Oh, something just happened. An anonymous cheer. Hey, thanks, anonymous cheer. We appreciate that. Also, did you just kill the stream boss? No, because that would have been really funny if our new stream boss was anonymous cheer. I love it. All right. So sorry, Merrick. What was the last thing you said?
Just telling Lambeau that I will not be held responsible for that one.
She says, all right, I feel like that's probably fair enough. Seeing Zenda making her rounds of the room, at that point, I think Lambeau will make a little round. Not that it probably will do much good. Nope. She's so busy trying to breathe lightly through her mouth that she really can't get a good look around the room.
What are we looking for?
Lambeau says, I don't know. Zenda looked like she was looking for something, so I thought I'd try and help.
Zenda, what are you looking for?
I just want to know why, man. I just want to know why. Like what exactly was the point for all of this? Just experimentation? Did he want something out of the people of this town? And also, did he do it alone? Because I feel like this was a lot of work for one person. He hasn't been here that long.
I found a note in the scarecrow in the hall that said that the scarecrow itself was his pinnacle of what he was trying to achieve here, and that he was going to move onwards and upwards from here. So I'm assuming he has fled to go continue experimenting something else. I am led to believe that this was him acting alone, because no one in their right mind would else do this. So one person is odd enough. Two people doing it together is a little more far-fetched, in my opinion.
Yeah, I guess so. Can we get out of this house and go? I'm also very tired. I realize that we have not slept in
It's
a very
true.
long time.
It's true. Lambeau's like,
Right.
well, I feel fine. She had a little cat nap.
I need to wash up.
Yes,
Let's cut back over to Zephyr, who at this point has run all the way back to the house and has arrived at the Ovid grounds. What's your plan?
Zephyr is going to head into the house and just look for everyone.
Through the shed, or try and go
through
through
the front door if it's open. I don't know that. Is it not?
No, so if you all recall, it was locked. That was the whole problem with you and
Right.
Lambeau going up there, was
Shoot.
that you couldn't open it.
Well, heck. Because I don't know if those we took care of those scarecrows that are down in the basement, right?
Yes, those were
Okay,
taken care
so
of.
yeah, I'll go through the shed.
Okay, so you go through the shed. You come out into that cellar, and you see hands everywhere. Charred, stabbed, sliced, some of them dead of seemingly for no reason, but I mean covering a solid, 30-foot diameter area of the floor.
Okay.
Yeah.
If there's no danger, Zephyr will tiptoe around them.
It's real horrifying. So you sort of pick your way around them,
Yeah.
head up the stairs into the first floor, and then into that sort of central area where the spiral staircase is. Why don't you go ahead and make me a wisdom perception check from down below? Let's see if you get any inkling of where they. Oh, y'all!
Another one! Oh my
you
god!
all. So you have no idea where they are. Where would you like to search?
So I mean, Zephyr knew that Merrick was pretty obsessed with that finished product.
Totally.
So he's gonna head there first.
Okay, I'll buy that. So you head upstairs. You see as you get up to the third floor that this statue has just been completely dismantled, not gently. And you hear some murmuring coming from around the corner. You can poke your head around and are just assaulted. You're outside the room still at this point, so it's not as bad, but you are assaulted by this wave of horrible smells coming from the room that your companions are in, just as Zenda's like, can we please get out of here?
So Zephyr is as far from that doorway as he can be, with still being able to, and just as politely, is everything all right in there? Is there a reason that you're occupying that space when it smells that way? Can you smell that?
Yes, I can smell it. It is me.
Zenda just glares,
guess that's
just
true.
glaring.
I would implore you to come out of there if you are completely done with what you're doing.
Zenda runs out past Zephyr and just sprints down the stairs, just out.
Lambeau sort of goes, well, I mean, we were looking in here to see if we could find any... And then she takes a breath to finish her sentence, and she forgets to only breathe through her mouth and goes, whoop, and runs out of the room. But she doesn't go far, because she she was generally fine before, so she doesn't go down the stairs like Zenda did, but she definitely runs out the room.
We should go sleep, Zephyr.
That certainly is advisable.
And Merrick will start calmly walking out of the room, and they smell god awful.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. I mean, they probably got some of that water on their clothes when they were reaching in there, and so it's in you.
It's in me.
It's in you.
Monsters inside me.
Gross. All right. So, heading out of the house then, through the shed, so you all pass by your hand graveyard
please.
again. And back to Haverton Manor to call it a night, or a morning, or whatever.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yes, please.
So you all can go back to the manor. On the other side of town, you all can have a long rest. You sleep through the better part of the morning. Wake up early afternoon. That is all fine. And as you do wake up, what is... Sorry, I'm just resetting Lambeau's long rest as well. There we go. What's the plan for the next day? Or, I guess, the later on in this day, since technically it was first thing in the morning. But anyway.
That's a good question. So Zafir will ask at breakfast. I don't know if anyone's there.
Let's see. Lambeau, I'm trying to think of what Lambeau did last time. She did not come down for breakfast last
She
time.
No.
slept in.
So I think
was
she's
slept
probably
in.
asleep. Well, no, but she might have, because she got that cat nap from you. So she might actually be at breakfast this time, because she did get a little
Zenda's
rest.
there. Yeah, Zenda's there too,
All right. Merrick?
for sure.
Merrick is awake. They're not at breakfast. They're in like the library they're fully bathed with their what's it called?
Dressing gown?
Yeah, that's what their dressing gown
Yeah.
on, and they smell like flowers, and they
Aw.
have their tea, and they're reading.
I love it. I love it. Well, hey, Zafir, you've got the whole crew downstairs for breakfast, sort of, mostly.
No, Zafir will be over the moon.
Aww.
But well, I guess it's not even breakfast. We probably went home, slept, and it's like closer to noon. But
Yeah,
you know,
it's true. But hey,
It's brunch.
for lunch.
that's
yeah.
right. It's brunch.
The brunch. Mhm.
But anyhow, Zafir will bring up. Well, I suppose I'll have to discuss this with Merrick separately. But I wanted to see what you all thought of what we should do. We've solved the issue, and I don't know that Ovid will be coming back, at least to try and dwell amongst us as a citizen of this town. But should we do anything with the manor? I have a half a mind to burn it down to the ground. I don't see if there's any real reason that we need to keep it standing. But if there are any secrets within that we need to plumb, we may wish to do so before we destroy the manor.
Zenda, as Zafir says, I want to burn it to the ground, goes, bonfire party!
Oh
and
my
then
god.
speaking. I agree. I think we should definitely probably burn the whole thing to the ground, kill it all in fire. I still feel like no one just does this for no reason. Like, what is the reason that he decided to make these creatures and send them to attack the townspeople? And why did he come here to do it? These are things I want to know. So I say we go investigate again, now that I've slept, and maybe my perception will be better.
I have the sense that there may be some issue with this area that draws oddities, and it isn't just this place we're in right now. And I don't know if Reese's there, but
Oh, she can be, sure. She's always sort of just a call away.
she's always invited to breakfast, even if she can't eat.
Yeah. She gets
But-
sometimes she gets a little sad that she can't eat, but usually she's totally fine with it.
But anyhow, Zafir will regard Reese and say, and no offense to you in your situation, but I believe that there might have been something before your family came here that might have caused this draw of oddities here.
She says, "Well, it might be. Truth be told, I was sort of drawn here. Daddy said that I could pick out the place where we would settle, and I just got a feeling about this place, so I guess I never really thought about it, but it does kind of make sense, I guess."
So if I had to make some kind of an educated guess about all of this, I would say that there's a greater mystery at work here. It's not just Ovid being a bizarre human being, dwarf.
Dwarf.
Dwarf being. But that something probably brought him here that attracted the strangeness.
I mean, it makes sense to me, but I certainly couldn't tell you what that strangeness was. For me, it was just a feeling.
I also what was the old lady's name that lives sort of on the outskirts that everybody makes fun of?
Old Lady Liza.
Old Lady Liza, that's right. I wrote it down somewhere. My notes are a wreck. I feel like Old Lady Liza, if she's into magic and things, may know more about that than some of the younger people in town. Maybe since she's the kooky one that stays on that no one really wants to communicate with. I feel like people like that generally have a lot more knowledge and secrets about them. Maybe we can check her out too. Maybe after we check out the house, Felix's place.
Yes.
Okay, I'm down. Where is Merrick? Where are they? That's Zenda talking. Doesn't know where Merrick is.
Yes. Yes. I was like, right above you.
I would have to guess that Merrick is performing a good deal of self-care at this moment.
Cut to Merrick. What's Merrick doing? Specifically at that moment.
Sipping tea.
Perfect. Self-care. What kind of tea?
The hottest of tea.
There it is. It was literally the answer I was looking for. I just couldn't figure out how to formulate it.
But they would never spill the tea.
Of course not. Keep it to yourself.
They only sip it.
All right. So yes, I mean, you know, would probably guess that Merrick, if they're awake, they're probably in the study, you know, having a little moment, or they're still upstairs in their bedroom. Z.
Okay. I want to go ask Merrick what they think we should do, because I just feel like they need to be a part of this conversation. Because
Totally.
I'm ready to go right after I eat my brunch. I want to get this. I want to get her done.
Get her done. Yeah. So you can go have a chat with Merrick. Do it.
Okay. Knock, knock, knock. Hey, Merrick.
Yes.
Can I come in?
Absolutely.
So hi, you look like you're feeling much better. Would you be interested in going back to the house to check it out with us? We're gonna go after we eat. Are you hungry?
Have we not checked it out enough?
Yes, but we feel like there might be more there, and this time we'll actually have Zephyr with us the whole time, and then we're gonna burn it to the ground, which could be kind of fun. Like, you want to be a part of that?
I like the sound of burning it to the ground, because at this point there's no other use for it. You cannot clean that. You cannot salvage that. Just burn it and start over if you must. So, yes, we can do that.
Yes. Thank you for your time. Enjoy your tea. I'm gonna go finish eating. I'll see
Zenda?
you later. Yeah.
Zenda,
Mm-hmm.
don't pry too much.
Hurt. Got it. Closes the door.
Perfect. I love it. Okay. So, back to the house, it sounds like.
I think so.
Any preparations to be had beforehand? Anything?
I've cleaned my shit.
I have lots of torches.
Great.
All the fire. Ready for the fire.
Great. Love that. Prepared with some kindling and torches and
Maybe some marshmallows.
flint and steel. Oh my god, of course you do.
You know?
Yep.
I think take full advantage of the situation.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
S'mores. It's happening.
Yeah, there's nothing quite like s'mores made from a fire burning on corpses.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Zephyr.
Flavor.
Probably gonna bring cloth to tie around our faces so that it's a little bit easier to not smell gross stuff.
Sure, love that. Yep, great.
You're a smart one.
Gotta get the Vicks Vapor Rub.
Ugh,
Yeah.
no.
The smelling salts.
Well, absolutely. Okay, so All of that is prepared, and back to the house you go.
All right.
And how are you going to enter this house this time?
I think there's no more pretense of like what we're doing here, so we're just gonna bust down the front door. At least that's fine.
Okay. You're gonna bust down the front door, or you have Zenda with you now. She could try and unlock the front door.
That's a good point.
Yeah, let
But
me
it's up
try.
to you
Let me try
all.
to unlock it. I want to try to unlock it, just for fun.
Okay. So you go up to the front door, and go for it.
Yeah.
All right. I need you to. Oops. Hang on, just 1 second. Where is my? Here we go. I need you. And where's everybody else? What are the rest of you all doing? And are we're all just like ready with weapons in case Zenda can't open it at the front door? Or what's the plan here?
I feel like that's Lambeau doing that, just ready to attack if need be.
Great.
I can see that too.
Merrick
right.
waiting patiently.
So Lambo is ready right there, ready for it. Sorry, I'm just trying to load this thing, and then I will tell you a thing. All right, so I need all of you then, as Zenda, she gets her tools out, she goes up to the door, she gets ready, and I need all of you, please, to make dexterity saving throws. Oh, Merrick, what'd you get?
An 8.
An 8. Excellent. Let's see. Zenda, what'd you get?
17.
All right. Zephyr.
Natural 20 for a 26.
Yeah. And Lambo got a 12. Okay, so in the time since you all left and returned, it seems that an explosive glyph of warding was added to the front door, and it erupts as Zenda tries to open it. So,
What?
Lambeau and Merrick are both going to take 20 points of fire damage. Zephyr and Zenda will take 10.
Holy cannoli. Well, I want cannoli.
Rough. Yikes. That's a thing that
Damn.
happened.
I didn't even think to look. Didn't even think it'd be added. It's fine.
Yeah, added. So make of that what
Aw,
you will.
Man.
Make of that
Ugh.
what you will.
It
Okay.
appears our friend has returned.
I thought he was gone, man.
We shouldn't jump to conclusions. It's possible that's been there the whole time.
It's possible you two just didn't notice it because you realized you couldn't get in the house, so.
But that being said, let's proceed with caution.
I agree.
Zenda says,
yeah.
see, I told you he wasn't doing it by himself. I told you there was somebody else. I knew it. I knew. Zenda is fully convinced that it's somebody else, that there is a partner.
Lambeau is definitely hurting, and she just sort of nods, and you could probably try and open the door now without worrying too much about the explosive rune, though, if you want. So you can make a dexterity thieves tools check if you would like, Senta.
I'm very close to
Dexterity
single digits.
Thieves tools. Where is that?
It's not on there, but it's going to be...
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, so it's going to be a plus... Hang on. Plus 7.
Plus 7.
Yep.
18.
All right, so you are able to, now that the explosive rune is gone, you are able to get into that lock and pretty easily, actually, unlock the front door.
Mm-hmm.
I
Ow.
need to check something real quick.
Zephyr will go ahead and cast Cure Wounds on Lambeau to heal 12 points of damage.
Oh, she definitely appreciates that. All right. Gaga, gaga. What are her spells? I don't know. Okay, great. Perfect. Excellent. All right.
Was that Elmo's World?
What?
Did you just sing that to the theme song of Elmo's World?
Oh, no, it was... Oh, funny. No, it was actually to the theme of Drunk Benny from the club and in the Heights. Gaga, 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 gaga,
Oh,
gaga,
great.
gaga, gaga. Anyway.
Brilliant.
Perfect. Okay, so the door swings open, and you find yourselves in a part of the house that somehow you managed to have never gotten to until this point, which is this sort of little entrance foyer, if you will. It's a 10-foot wide, 15-foot long hallway that you see that sort of has more of those landscape paintings of Irongate, the city that you all know Dr. Ovid is from, on either sides. And ahead there are two beautiful mahogany-framed double doors leading deeper into the house.
Well, I'm not leading the way. I just got blown up on.
Lambo's like, yeah, me either, I think.
Zephyr will step forward
Okay.
and start looking through.
All right.
And I'll follow.
All right, I will take either wisdom perception or intelligence investigation to sort of have a look at them doors and the area here.
I will do investigation.
Okay. Zenda, I'll take one from you as well if you like, since you're also looking around.
Sorry,
Oh.
I didn't know it was me.
That's okay.
Am I looking for?
Mighty 7.
A mighty 7.
Yeah, which ones are my options?
Intelligence investigation or wisdom perception. I think your perception's better, but I don't remember.
I think so too. Plus 4. Yep, sure is.
Okay.
I got a 24.
All
I got a
right.
natural 20.
So, Zenda, you notice there doesn't seem to be anything, any traps or locks on this door, first of all, so you can safely sort of move through it without worrying too much. But
God.
you do also notice, you do also see a little more detail in the paintings on either side here. If you recall, some of the paintings inside sort of seem to depict Irongate under siege. In this one, you see that in one of them there is a figure sort of standing on one of the towers of one of the buildings in Irongate as this siege is going on, and there looks to be some sort of strange figure standing beside him, and the two of them are looking out over the siege, and it just strikes you as odd because the two little figures are somewhat out of focus in a way that the rest of the painting is not.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Zenda points out to the rest of the group the fact that these figures are there and wonders, do we think that this was done on purpose? What do we think? Why can't we see who these people are? Does anybody have any idea?
It's a painting.
Lambo will
Thank you, Merrick.
Lambo will take a look. All right, she got a 12. She definitely sees what you're talking about, and she says, yeah, it does look funny. It looks different than the rest of the painting. I wish I could see what them figures are, though. One of them definitely looks like a dwarf size, but the other one looks much bigger, but I can't tell what they are.
Yeah, me neither, man.
All right, so proceeding forward deeper into the house.
Yes, please.
You know,
Mhm.
for investigators, we should probably have a spyglass. Or not a spyglass, like a magnifying glass.
That might be something Minifay could make for you all.
That's,
That's a good idea.
Yeah,
That's a
I
good
like
idea.
that. I like that.
I don't think I have one of those.
I like that.
Mm.
All right, so you all proceed through these doors, and you find yourselves back in that central hallway area that has the black marble spiral staircase that's going up. Again, there are, you now see the door just to your right is the door that leads into the wolf room. There are about 4 other doors on the other side of this chamber that you all haven't had a look at, but then more importantly, so far to you all, has been the staircase that leads up.
What do we think? Should we check out these doors that we haven't been in yet? Do we think that's worth it?
We should
we
really
already
just
Check upstairs.
we should really just scour every inch of this entire building.
I agree.
All right. Who
All right.
wants to start? What's behind door
So
number
door
one?
number 1, 2, 3, 4 go from left to right on the other side of the chamber. That's how we'll sort of deal with this.
Start with number 1.
Yes.
All right.
What's behind door number 1?
Door number 1. All right, so door number 1, you open up and it reveals what looks to be very clearly a dining room of sorts. There's a carved mahogany table surrounded by 8 high-backed chairs, cushioned seats. There's a crystal chandelier hanging above the table. The table doesn't have any flatware laid out at the moment, so it's bare other than a silver candelabrum in the center of it. Looks like there's a fireplace in this room as well. There's a lot of fireplaces in this house. There's a fireplace in this chamber, in this dining room. Mounted above it is yet another one of those paintings of a different vantage point of Iron Gate. And you can see some windows that have red silk drapes that are covering them, and these have been drawn. You remember that yesterday none of the window curtains were drawn because Lazarus was able to sort of look in any and all of the windows around the house, but these curtains are drawn now for sure. Let's see, are there other doors in this room? That's an excellent question. Thank you for asking. There are... there's one other door sort of on the far side of the chamber to y'all's right, but it looks like that door probably leads out back into that central hallway. It looks like it might be door number 3. So, just 2 ways into this dining room.
Let's just
I see.
keep moving. Trying to find stuff.
Yeah, should we look at the other rooms before we decide which ones to investigate further?
Sure.
All right.
Right.
So door number 2, you open up and it's just a very small little closet. It's a little cloakroom. There's a few black cloaks all sized for a dwarf hanging from hooks on the wall. There's also a shelf that is a perfect height for, maybe a little tall for Zenda, but not terribly. Again, obviously heighted for a dwarf that has this very fine black silk top hat on it. Other than that, you don't immediately notice anything in this closet.
I don't suppose any of these are magic.
I don't know. You could tell me how you're going to find out.
And anyone here can anyone here cast detect magic?
Nope.
Was that a gap in our ability?
I think so. Oh no. No, that's
Someone
right.
can.
Lambeau can at will because of her awakened mind, so she'll cast it.
Oh, that's right.
I forgot about that. I also found out that she also has a feature that could have given her proficiency with thieves' tools yesterday for 10 minutes, but that's okay. I don't think she had any thieves' tools, so I don't suppose it would have really mattered. So she'll cast detect magic, no problem. She doesn't notice anything in here as being magical, no, or anything within 30 feet, but she'll keep it up for the next 10 minutes in case anything pings.
Cool.
Finally, you all, anything else in this chamber?
Moving on.
All right. Moving on to door number 4. So door number 4 opens up into the kitchen of the house. Pretty tidy looking. There's a work table with a cutting board and a rolling pin atop it. Lambeau seems noticeably nervous about the kitchen and sort of definitely stands back a little bit. This might explain why she never really comes into the kitchen for breakfast either when you decide to serve it there in the kitchen back at Haverton Manor. She's not real fond of it after everything she went through. There's a stone dome-shaped oven standing near one wall. A bent iron stovepipe connecting it to a hole in the ceiling, presumably for the smoke and exhaust. Behind the stove, there's another door that's actually slightly ajar that looks like it leads to a pantry. Nothing particularly exciting there. And you all also notice a tiny little door set in one of the walls that is identical to the dumbwaiter door from upstairs.
I'll open it.
Yeah, so you open it up, and it seems like the dumbwaiter is actually down here at this level. It looks like you have found sort of the bottom portion of the dumbwaiter and can see the platform that travels on it, and also the buttons or rather the rope that allows you to send it up and down manually from down here that you couldn't reach from upstairs.
Gotcha.
There's also a tiny little brass bell next to the door of the dumbwaiter.
I'll just investigate and see, is there anything on this platform that gives us an idea of what was sent up and down? Was it just for normal use, or was he using it for, all kinds of gross body parts?
I'll take investigation or perception, intelligence or wisdom.
Doing investigation?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God.
Oh, no.
Bye.
It's another natural one. Oh no! I mean, it's really hard to tell. It's the platform looks clean enough at first glance, so it's hard to tell anything really about it.
Zephyr, try pulling it up. See if there's anything below the
Good
platform.
idea. And Zephyr will do so.
The platform, yeah. I mean, you can sort of you pull it up a little ways to look under, but there's nothing down there. But a good
I
thought.
stand corrected.
A good thought, though. I like it.
No.
Okay. That's okay. Anything else? Anybody else? Oh no.
There's gotta be something in one of these rooms, man.
It appears we might be reaching a standstill, but let's continue to pour over empty rooms that seem to have no meaning whatsoever.
So excited about it. I love it.
I can't wait to burn it down.
I know you can't. So this seems to be the extent of the rooms here on this floor. So if you would like to continue exploring, unless you want to go back to any of the places you've seen so far, your best bet is probably to continue on upstairs.
I would love to continue upstairs.
All right, so you continue upstairs, you take that black marble staircase up, you get to the second floor, and there are two sets of double doors, one to the north, one to the south, and there's also a single door just to your right, which is to the north, just to the right at the very top of the stairs.
Okay. Let's investigate it, make sure we don't blow ourselves up.
Which one? The door immediately at the top of the stairs? The
Yes.
single door? Okay. Got it. Go ahead and anybody who would like to take a look at it can make wisdom, perception, or intelligence investigation.
Investigation, and finally something over a 10.
Hey, an
Yay!
11. Fantastic.
I rolled a natural 20
Hey.
for a 27.
So this door looks, it does not look locked or trapped. In fact, it looks quite plain.
I push it open. It's fine.
So here, looks like it was, at some point, it was used as a sort of, bedroom of some sort. It's a totally undecorated bedroom. There are a pair of beds that have been sort of shoved up against the walls, but also in here, it looks like it is now being used as some sort of a storage closet. There are framed paintings, all of them facing towards the wall, so you can't see what any of them are, stacked up against the walls. There are a few tapestries rolled up and shoved in one corner. Looks like some sort of a storage closet. There also, you see here, this is apparently directly above the kitchen, because there is a dumbwaiter door here with a button right next to the door, just like there was upstairs.
I'll press the button.
Make a wisdom perception check, everybody, please.
20.
Hey!
Finally.
Nope, not for Merrick. And a 15 for Zenda. So Zenda and Zephyr, you all hear the very quiet tinkling of a bell coming from downstairs when you push the button.
So that's what the button does.
Okay. Zenda wants to look at the framed paintings.
Mm-hmm.
Wants to see if there are any new angles, or if there's more information to gain from.
So you look at the framed paintings and you realize that these are the first paintings in the house that you've seen that aren't of Irongate. Some of these are sort of pastoral landscapes. Some of them are portraits of people, none of which you recognize at all as being anyone that you've met, at least so far in Brenton. There are a few sort of still life things. It's just all sorts of assorted art, none of which seems to have anything to do with Irongate.
So he only wants to display the ones that remind him of the town that he was in being completely taken over and destroyed. Something tells me that brings him joy, and that concerns me. I am concerned.
Or
concerned.
he's obsessed with the revenge, which is equally concerning.
Yeah, that is true, especially if he's trying to figure out the best way to get revenge on a town that doesn't belong to him. That he doesn't belong to, I should say. Do we think maybe he was the one on the painting? One of the ones standing overseeing the siege?
I
The
assume.
town's destruction? I would assume so too. I want to know who the second person was. That's all. That's my thoughts.
That's all.
That's all. That's all. I just want to throw that out there.
I love it.
Let's continue.
Very well.
All right. So continuing on, you've got the double doors to the north and the double doors to the south.
Let's
Look,
go
the one
south.
from
South. Mhm.
All right, south it is. So you go up to these double doors, and beyond them is a conservatory of sorts. Gossamer drapes cover the window in here in this elegantly appointed room. There's a brass plated chandelier hanging from the ceiling, fancy-looking upholstered chairs lining the walls. Actually, some of the windows, there's a couple of small windows in here that are stained glass, beautiful patterns in them. There's a harpsichord with a bench in one corner of the room. There's a large harp in another corner, and you can see alabaster figurines of well-dressed dancers along the mantelpiece in the fireplace in this room. It is immediately clear that this room is rarely used. It's not dirty, but like things in here are a little less cared for. It's a little dustier. It's a little what have you.
Dusty, musty, and crusty. You know?
You know it.
Still cleaner than the bathroom.
This is true.
Low bar, but all right.
Senda walks past the harp and strums it a little bit.
It's
Just 'cause.
super out of tune, but yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
I doubt we'll find anything of note in this room.
Yeah. I'm thinking that too.
Let's move on to the final room of this floor.
All right. So you can
Get
go
that north door.
to the double doors in the north. This room opens up onto a library. More red velvet drapes covering the windows here. An exquisite mahogany desk and matching high back chair sort of face the entrance. And there's another fireplace in this room. Above it is another painting of Iron Gate. Situated in the corners of the room are a couple of overstuffed chairs, and then there are just floor-to-ceiling bookshelves lining the walls of the chamber where there aren't windows.
I'm gonna look at these books.
You can look at these books. And looking for anything in particular?
Nope.
All
no
right.
books.
Intelligence investigation. I will take. How about the rest of you?
I want to look at the painting again.
Okay.
This painting and this one.
Yep. Love it. Zafir.
I'll actually open the drapes and see what the view is from this room.
Okay. So Merrick, what'd you get on your check?
22.
22.
What kind of books we got here?
Several different kinds of books. Some of them are histories of Iron Gate. A lot of them actually are histories of Iron Gate. Some of them are, about specific things. There's some mining in the Iron Gate region, histories thereof. There's actually some like mining textbooky type things that you find. You also see what was the score?
22.
Great. So you also see then things start to, sort of as you go back to the corner of the room, things start to get a little weird. There are a couple of books on like layman's books on necromancy that you find. There are books that look like they're like from, you recognize that there are some holy symbols on them. They look like, I don't know. I'm terrible. We're in Greyhawk, not in the Forgotten Realms, so never mind. Scratch that, because that god doesn't exist here. You find some books about the construction of different types of constructs. You find books on the nature of the different elements, particularly lightning and fire. And then in the corner, you find some really, just one really odd book. What languages do you speak?
Common, Deep Speech, and Infernal.
Well, it's written in Infernal.
Hey, my native tongue.
Mm-hmm. And it seems to just be, it's not a particularly devilish book, but it's written in Infernal, which is odd.
With the necromancy stuff, was there like a correlation with did I find anything that was similar to what I found at the manor, or is it just because it's just all necromancy?
Yeah, not necessarily. You mean your manor?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, not particularly. In fact,
Okay.
the studies here are actually quite different. The books at the manor were sort of more about harnessing
Lichdom.
energies and lichdom. These are much more about reanimation and things like that.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And
So are you actually pulling these books and sort of really getting into them, or?
I was doing a cursory glance at like the titles and just,
Okay.
like flipping through things, but like when the Infernal book, I'll have to take a look at.
Okay, so you pull the book out, and it doesn't actually come all the way out. You pull it, and it clicks, and the bookshelf begins to swing slightly inward. And we're gonna
found
hold
something.
Great, and we're gonna hold you there and go down to Miss Zenda, who was looking at the painting and made a wisdom perception check for me.
Oh, I did. I got a natural 1. I didn't find jack shit.
Lovely painting.
Not a thing.
It's a lovely
It's
painting.
beautiful.
So you
It's
hear
nice.
Merrick, but damn it, you are staring at this thing. You hear
Oh,
Merrick call out that they have found something, and then we'll hop to Zephyr really quick. You open the windows and you see that this room actually has a rather lovely view of the hills, the eastern hills that surround Brenton and the forests out that way.
Good to know.
Great. So Merrick has just called out that they have found something in the corner. Zenda definitely heard and might be headed that way. And we are going to take a short break before we find out what is in this room. Hang out, everybody. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back 5 to 10 minutes to continue our adventure and see what is in the room. Thanks for hanging out. We'll be back shortly.